as somebody who works out and has been working out for a long time, the OGs remember starting in this basement over there on that couch. And a lot of my life, I was working out in a place of self-hatred. Where it has started was I felt too big as a kid, and so I grew anorexic. Barely ate. I remember for my birthday, I wouldn't even have cake. I was on a strict diet, extremely young. I remember going into the mirror, taking my stomach and like pretending to cut the fat off, or like lifting it up just to see how I would look. All these things. And then once I became super anorexic, I was getting a little better, but somebody had taken a photo of me from the back. And I'm pretty sure when I was young, I had body dysmorphia. I was super skinny, but I would always think I was so big. And when I was super skinny, I would think I looked different. And so somebody took a photo of me and I couldn't recognize the person. I was like, no, that's me? Like, that is not me. And from that photo, I started working out heavily. But it wasn't an act of love. Let's take care of my body. I love my body so much that I'm gonna be healthy. It was, I hate the way I look. Why do I look like this? I hate myself so much. And then I changed. And a lot of people think that changing yourself because you don't like the way you look will result in you loving yourself when you look better. But that's not true. The core identity to where you change, or the intention behind the change, will always show up again after the fact or after the change. And so I would work out 6-7 times a week, sometimes twice a day. I was so hard on myself, and people saw discipline. Everyone would ask me, how are you so disciplined? But I was driven by self-hatred. And so, yeah, I might have been super disciplined, and honestly I was. And I will forever be grateful for my periods of extreme discipline, because now I can see the balance. But what I want to say is, I see a lot of women working on themselves from the intention or the place of self-hatred. And it's so hard when you truly feel disgusting in your body. How are you going to look at yourself and say, oh, I love you. I love you. But it takes work. It takes work. It takes consistency. It takes inner work. It takes the intrinsic love, intrinsic validation. Because at the time, I would always look for external validation. Post my body everywhere, try to gain attention from men, or avoidant, all these things, right? But there's so many women, high-achieving women, functioning from a place of burnout and survival mode. They feel like they can't stop, because if they stop and rest, they're not worthy. I am still working through this, actually, but productivity pandemic. I came up with this word, I don't know. I feel like I came up with it, but you know, the productivity pandemic. And I had realized there was one day out of the week I was so sick that my body forced me to rest. And even in that, I couldn't. I would get up, do some push-ups, listen to a podcast. The last thing I wanted to do was just sit there and lie down. Even my meditations were a point of productivity. I was meditating on something. I was visualizing something. I never was just sitting down and resting, because I had learned that productivity and my worthiness came from my productivity. When I wasn't achieving, when I wasn't doing, when I wasn't pushing so hard, then what was I worth? What was I worth? So it's something that I'm actually, again, currently working on. I have these moments where I'm integrating a day where I get off my social media, where I just lay in bed a few extra minutes. I watch a show without the intention of learning, just being there. And it's so different. Like, as a woman, we are designed to rest and to be. I love the saying, we're human beings, not human doings. We're in such a rat race that we feel like we can't slow down because someone's beating us. There's all this talk of competition. Competition. Oh yeah, they're partying, they're your competition. It's, for me personally, I understand why competition works for a lot of people. It's that external motivation. But for me, my only competition is who I was, who I am now, and who I will be. And it's not even out of like, oh, I'm gonna beat them. It's more like, oh, like, I can see how broken you were, you know? And in the future, I can see where I'm going, and so that motivates me. It drives me. There's a fire in me. I don't care how cringy that sounds. I literally feel like a fire inside of my being almost every time I wake up, because there's something that I'm supposed to do that's more than myself. You know, when you get to that place, it's like you can't stop. But once I really started to love my body, love everything about myself, and I tell myself, I look in the mirror and I say, I love you. You are so sexy. You're so smart. You're so beautiful. You're worthy. You're loved. You are light. You are loving. You're worthy of your goals. I say this to myself. And I think more people need to. But I forget where I was going with this. Anyways, Lord, take over. What am I supposed to be saying now? When I started to act in alignment, in my frequency was aligned with love, overflow, and gratitude, I naturally began to slow down. To slow down my walking pace, the way I spoke. I started to allow myself to relax, you know? And I realized I'm still disciplined. I'm still very disciplined. But the intention behind it is so fulfilling. I love myself so much that I'm going to push myself in the gym. And I also love myself so much that I'm going to listen to my body when it's craving rest. In the shadow aspect, I love myself so much that when the shadow aspect comes up and tells me, no, you need to work harder, you're not worthy to rest, I love myself so much that I can look inside and say, you are worthy. You're safe. You're safe to be. You're safe to rest, to relax, to rejuvenate. I love myself so much. And like, this is what I want for everybody. I want everybody to love themselves as much as I love myself. That's why my outro is love yourself as much as I love you. Because I think that is like my why. The core to everything I do. I look at my mirror and I start tearing up because of the amount of gratitude I have for myself. I want everybody to experience the level of love I experience within myself. I go outside and I notice the trees and I notice the ground and I just have this sense of awe. I want everyone to experience that. You know? I remember one time when I ran away from home, I was walking through my park with a suitcase. No phone, barely any money, going to live with a guy that I barely knew. And all I could repeat was, everything works out for me, everything happens for a reason. And then I got it tatted. It's here, everything happens for a reason. Your perception of reality shapes reality. Reality is forced to reflect what you perceive about it. Love yourself as much as I love you. Mwah.